All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this month's Innovations webinar. My name is Fernando, and I come with the Region 9 Head Start Association, and I'll be your webinar host today. So feel free to contact me via the chat option of Zoom with any logistical questions you may have regarding audio, video, or any connection issues. This webinar session will be recorded and will be made available for on-demand consumption after today. You may find this recording once it's processed up on our website, which is www.region9hsa.org. We encourage your participation today, so feel free to send us your questions, comments via the Q&A option of Zoom, or simply send us a chat message and we will address it either during a pause during the presentation or at the end if time allows. Again, if time permits, we'll devote the last 5 minutes or so of the presentation for any questions or comments that are lingering throughout this session today. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our topic for today, Community Partnerships Triple Bottom Line, and our facilitator today will be Michael Mitchell from Acelero-Learning, Clark County. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Michael. I'm here with Christina Badikian. And really excited to talk about triple bottom line today, which is really a way to think about, going into partnerships where there's multiple desired outcomes. And just want to thank Region 9 for giving us the chance and the platform to discuss some of our partnerships, as well as for just establishing this ongoing innovation series. So we'll just start with an introduction. I'm the Executive Director of Acelero-Learning Clark County, and I've been here with Acelero-Learning since 2009. So I started here as a teacher with actually one of our partners, Teach for America, and have had various roles since then. And I'll let Christina introduce herself.
Good afternoon, I'm Christina Badikian. I'm the Nutrition Coordinator for Clark County Acelero-Learning. I've been here since 2010, and I actually started off in the kitchen. And I have a bachelor's degree in nutrition and food science.
Great. And so before we start to talk about some of our specific partnerships, I think the big theme today, or what we would want as a key takeaway, is that one, it's important to try to establish partnerships with as many folks as possible, because you never really know until you're in the midst of that partnership the amount of value that you can gain from that. And I would say in terms of building partnerships, our local philosophy here in Clark County is one, always try to represent our organization when we're out in the community, as well as our values. So we want to be open communicators, and we want to be team players, but always treating other organizations with respect and kindness and care, as well as interest and curiosity. And it's oftentimes where we've established partnerships that have been really impactful for our students or for the community, with folks that when we first met them, we didn't quite see the vision of how to work together. But by having that curiosity, by having that respectful relationship, we're able to build those partnerships. And then the other key point of partnership is always just about finding out, when you're trying to work with an organization, what is their interest or what are their outcomes, so you can see where you can support that. And we find that as we try to work with a support others approach first, it really helps our reputation in the community, as well as brings in other partners that want to work with us. And ultimately, we're able to benefit, as well as either parents or students or community, the community at large. So the first partnership we want to talk about is with a local food bank, and it will really illustrate how we can really hit multiple outcomes by just engaging with each other.
So in order to help our families who suffer from food insecurities, we had partnered up with 3 Square to produce farmers market at 6 of our locations. So 3 Square's mission is to provide wholesome food to hungry people while passionately pursuing a hunger-free community. They combine food banking, food rescue, and ready-to-eat meals to be the most complete food solution for Southern Nevada. They work with a service network of more than 1,600 community partners, which includes nonprofit and faith-based organizations, schools, and after-school and feeding sites in our community to reach struggling individuals and families at risk of hunger. In 2017, they distributed more than 37 million meals, the equivalent of more than 45 million pounds of food and grocery products through our community partners.
So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Kids Count data, and if you've looked at the state of Nevada, there's a number of areas where there's serious concerns, you know, be it education or health. But one of the areas that we typically do much better is food insecurity. And part of that are these great institutions like 3 Square that we have in the community that have been so effective at, you know, finding the need, creating solutions to meet a need, and then delivering logistically to make that happen. And so not only is it great to work with organizations like that, but it's an organization with proven success who has impacted our state at large. So it gives us a chance to learn too in terms of logistics.
And how we came about 3 Square is we used to have a former board member that was a part of 3 Square, and also a previous employee that now actually works at 3 Square had reached out to me and brought to me the farmers market to see if it was something that Acelero was interested in. And of course we were, so we are going now on our 3rd year of partnering with them with the farmers market. So 3 Square Food Bank and Acelero Clark County come together to provide, so with our parents, staff, and community members with pallets of fresh produce, dry goods, and beverages completely free of charge on a monthly basis. Some people think farmers markets, there are farmers markets out there that you have to go pay for their product, but 3 Square, it's a free farmers market, so nobody has to pay anything. It's free of charge. We just provide 3 Square with intake forms, just with the certain age groups and number of people in the household. So in 2016 to 2017 was the first year we started. We started off with 3 locations in October of 2016 and ended in June 2017. Within those 9 months, we gave out over 300,000 pounds of food to 6,043 households with all 3 locations combined. Our farmers markets are trucked. They typically come between 5:30 and 6:30. We have staff in the morning. We have staff and volunteers that come out there to meet the truck, and a lot of stuff we have to bag ourselves. We'll get pallets of apples, oranges, potatoes, and onions. And so our staff and volunteers bag them into bags, so it's easier to hand out when the line does start at 8 o'clock. We also get beverages, crackers, cereals. We've been getting shower gels, watermelon. We've just been getting a wide range of good produce and dry goods to give out. In 2017 and 2018, we added 2 more locations, which put us at a total of 5. We started in September of 2017 and ended in June 2018. And within those 10 months, we gave out over 500,000 pounds of food from 3 Square to 6,975 households, all with those 5 centers combined. In 2018 to 2019, from September to December 2018, we've already given out 180,000 pounds of food to 2,883 households with all those 5 centers. And this month, January 2019, we are adding another center, which puts us at 6 centers total to have farmers markets on a monthly basis. And we typically go the 10 months. We take July and August off because those are our busy times with summer break and training in the beginning of the school year. But during those months, we do provide the staff and the families with our internal food bank, other food bank resources, and 3 Square also has a website where they have locations of food banks to where they distribute food all throughout Las Vegas. And here are some pictures of what our farmers markets look like. These are pallets. This is how they come. They'll come in cases. You'll see pallets of bread, water. Kids come, they're helping out too with the food. And then the last picture on the bottom right is actually all of the community partners that we have gained since we've started the farmers markets. So we have UNLV Dental, Liberty Dental, University Cooperative Extension, Bamboo Clinic, Anthem Health Insurance, Health Plan of Nevada, and I have a new one, the Culinary Academy, that wants to come out and give information out to everybody in the community and our families. So here we have the watermelons, our staff volunteering, the lines that we have that they're waiting to start. The food has to be 6 inches off the ground, so we have our pallets that we put them on. But it's just really great to see the community come together with our staff and our families to have these farmers markets on a monthly basis. And we have them, so it's 6 locations, and they're all spread out throughout the month. So it's not all 6 in 1 week. It's all throughout the month. So, and they can go to any one of them that they want, or all of them.
And so when we talk about the triple bottom line, 3 Square had the resources in the food product, but not necessarily the hours and the people to be able to distribute out the food. And so they came to us and worked with us, where we said, okay, we will volunteer and provide that resource of labor hours. And so we're both benefiting from this, but even more so, the community is benefiting from this, because this is open not only to our families, but any members of the community that want to be involved. And that's great for us because it also helps change our reputation in the community. Obviously, you know, word of mouth is really positive when you can give out thousands of pounds of cost-free groceries, but it helps people to see Head Start and our Head Start programs as a resource for them. And so they don't see us just, you know, as only an education agency, but an agency that can help with multiple different areas, which ends up helping with our recruiting, helping with enrollment, and just giving us, you know, that general positive word of mouth throughout the community. Now, when we first started to undertake this, you know, there was the question among our leadership team of, you know, can we really get the volunteers there? You know, is this too big of an ask? And that being said, we also saw the opportunity to unite each other and us as employees within our organization. And what we found is it became this really team building and inspiring moment, because while it is a lot of work, it's also very rewarding to, you know, to see the expressions of thanks and appreciation, and just being able to support families or parents that we're working with, or children from our own classrooms that we're working with. And so it helped with staff satisfaction, retention, and then there are other examples of success that we didn't even think might occur. And so, for example, at one of our centers, the parents decided they wanted to take over in the volunteering, so they really asked our staff to take a step back and let them lead that charge. They love to come to PC and talk about that and share that, which then sparked the interest of other PC members. And in general was this great positive thing just for our shared governance, because it was a time where they really felt their ability to step in and take more control and see that we trust our parents as our partners to be able to do that. And so it empowered them, you know, in very unrelated ways to also step up as part of our shared governance. And so when we first thought about this, we didn't think, you know, this is going to help shared governance or this is going to increase the quality of PC meetings, but it did. And it also increased just the relationships that our staff have with each other, because you can't go out here and do this work together and not come away with a positive feeling. But most importantly, we're 2 organizations in the community that were able to benefit each other, to be able to supply these resources to people that could benefit from them. And so a lot of times people may ask, you know, why did you want to become involved with the food bank as a community partner, or were you trying to get food for your lunches or your snacks? And that wasn't the case, but we were trying to see, can we meet the need of the community? And in being able to do that, we've had so much benefit, and it's also something that staff and parents love to put up on social media and things like that. And so just that positive messaging around what we're doing, I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this. You know, a lot of times when people go to social media about schools, it can be positive, but sometimes it can be, you know, that bad experience. And so people may start to see schools as like this place where negative things happen. And so it was really important for us to create space where positivity can be easily shared by our parents, by our staff, and we've really felt the benefits of that. And we'll talk about how this benefited us in other partnerships as well. But it's just an example of how this triple bottom line comes into place, where we're helping Three Square to distribute the resource. The community is benefiting from the resource, and we're benefiting from the recruitment and enrollment aspects, as well as being able to provide an extra layer of resource to our families. So we're going to move ahead, but if anyone has questions, feel free to use the Zoom functionality to raise a hand, and we'll be able to answer this.
And since Three Square has done so much with us with the farmers market, we thought it'd be great to give back to them and also create a team building event to help us with staff retention. So we have a group that we organize monthly, and we go volunteer at Three Square. We started this a few months ago in November, and we go after hours to their facility from 5 to 7 p.m. I'll send out an email to staff 3 weeks before the event to get the interest, and it's open to the staff to bring their friends and family and kids over 10 years old. It's a great team building event too. We were with the Air Force Academy the first time, so it was nice to get to know them. We were with a senior center the second time. And then yesterday we had some people that were individually volunteering with their kids come and join our group as well. So it's nice to go out there to volunteer for them because they function off of volunteers to bag some of their foods and some of their programs. So we definitely enjoy doing that. We're also going to volunteer with them at their color run that they're sponsoring March 2nd and 2019 to help them out with that as well. These are the pictures from the first two volunteering events at their facility. The first one, those bins we were helping sanitize to clean because they deliver hot meals to those to the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club for lunches for those kids. At the bottom left, we have their bagging apples. Some of those do come to the farmers markets. And then we break down boxes and help move stuff over with their pallets.
And again, retention is always a big issue for us, and so being able to engage together in a way where we can feel we're making an impact on the community while just enjoying each other's company in a very low stress environment always still yields dividends, as you can see by the smiling faces and just the joy that you get from being able to engage in volunteering is always a positive. So at our delegate, we have a wellness committee that plans multiple volunteer events a year, as well as things like 5Ks or community hikes or team building activities. And so this is just a nice extra layer, and again, an example of how we could further the partnership. So we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about a different community partner, the Public Education Foundation. The Public Education Foundation is very influential in particularly Clark County, but throughout the state of Nevada, and does a lot of work with our local school district. But for much of our time, even as Acelero here in Clark County, we didn't have any kind of partnership with them or work with them. But a few years ago, we came together to do a brainstorm about family engagement. They had received various grants that allowed them to engage in family literacy activities, and knowing that Head Start had robust family engagement practices, we wanted to work together. From there, that led to sharing recruiting resources, and from there, it led to professional development. So one of their great programs is an executive leadership cohort and a teacher leadership cohort. And in the past, they would always have only folks from the school district, but they wanted to have members in the community involved as well. And we said as a Head Start program, not only could we benefit from this, but we can give our unique perspective to that group. The other benefit is that these cohorts aren't open to the public, but they're only by selection. And so when we have staff joining with them, they're working with other very high quality teachers, other very high quality leaders. So as we work together and we're able to do that, we saw a lot of positive impact for our program, not just only in the professional development that our folks received, but in really being able to establish our reputation and show folks in the community that may have thought that we're paraprofessionals or other myths you may hear about Head Start, we're really able to dispel that and be part of the work of really trying to lead forward innovation within our community. I myself participated in one of these cohorts, and so over the course of the year, I would spend one weekend each month with different school leaders. And so some of the folks that I was able to connect with were a co-founder of KIP, Dr. Rick Hess, who wrote Cage Busting Leadership and the Cage Busting Teacher, Dr. Marguerite Rosa from Georgetown University, Dan Weisberg, who is at the New Teacher Project, Seth Andrew, who founded Democracy Prep, Dr. Liz City from Harvard, Dr. John Fullerton from Harvard, and each month we had gone over different things, whether it's how to analyze data, how it's to engage in parent engagement and advocacy, taking a deeper look at our own instruction and curriculum, developing talent, working through the legal and ethic issues in order to run a successful program, and what just comes into making a great school and a great school system. And so it's something where we were able to benefit, and even I personally benefited a lot from this development. It ended up, you can't help but bring that back. And so a lot of our own innovations were guided by some of these ideas or thinking how we could go beyond the norm, guided by this. So there's a lot of impact. One of our teachers that attended the teacher leadership cohort was promoted to our center director and is one of our very high performing center directors right now. And so just, a few years ago, we knew these things were happening, but we weren't at the table, and now we are. Another great thing that they do is called the Teacher Exchange. And so obviously, being in Clark County, we're here in Las Vegas. And so they have partnerships with many of the casinos and convention centers around here. And so after many conventions, they are able to go to the casinos and work with those vendors. And they end up mining a lot of materials. They also have donors in the community that give materials. And so the Teacher Exchange, our teachers as well as our teacher assistants are able to go, sign up, they're able to get points, and then they use those points as currency. And so we all know, a former teacher myself, I can't tell you how much money I spent on manipulatives or consumables or other things I wanted for the classroom. But it's important for us that our staff are able to spend their money on themselves and their families. So this partnership still gives them access to this resource. We as also learning are able to pay for those points, so our teachers and TAs can utilize them for free. But it's also just an inspiring thing to be able to go into a beautiful warehouse full of supplies, knowing that it's from people in the community who want to benefit our teachers and want to benefit our educators, and being surrounded by other educators and just the opportunity for networking, but also just the boost in confidence and knowledge that other folks are willing to be part of this work with us. I think also of note, typically in this teacher exchange, only teachers were allowed to access it. There was no access for teacher assistants and whatnot, and that includes the school district. But having gone through a course at their program where they told us to think outside the box and push beyond the norm, we spoke together and said, this is where I want to push outside the box, because at Head Start, our assistant teachers are essentially doing the same things as our lead teachers and putting as much into it. So while the qualifications are a little bit different, the workload is not, and we want our TAs to be able to access that as well. And so for the first time, they allowed teacher assistants to access that as well. We'll talk about them a little bit later too, and how they came into play with some of our other partnerships.
YMCA is another partnership that we have a couple years ago. The whole point of it in the beginning was for wellness for our staff and families, and then after putting this together a few days ago, I actually reached out to YMCA to see about actually going to recruit at their, be able to recruit at their locations. So we're able to put flyers in their facilities, and we're able to recruit at any of the events that they have. So we created this partnership with them back in May of 2016. Our membership is for Acelero staff and families only that we serve. They get a discounted membership price at 30%, which includes two adults and however many children they have in that household. It includes everything the facility has to offer, such as fitness classes, health coach, swimming pool, tennis courts, basketball courts, a workout area, a free childcare up to 2 hours while you work out, and there's even an area for grandparents as well too. With this partnership, we're also able to help families that have children that are overweight find a place for 3 to 5 year olds to be active instead of being at home. And parents can't just go and drop off their kids and go leave. They have to be there with them the whole time. They could be in their fitness area or taking classes, but they all have to be there together. So this is what our flyer looks like. We update it every year. They get a 1-week free pass to try it out, and they get a whole tour. They can call and get a tour of the facility as well. But this has been really great for a lot of families and the staff that we have, because memberships to gyms are expensive. So it's great to have this partnership with YMCA.
And I think it's also worth noting that when we talk to staff about wellness in the past, one of their asks from us is, other companies can give a free gym membership or a reduced cost gym membership, and would we be able to do that? And while we didn't have the funds to do that for gyms, by establishing this partnership, we were able to give them that same experience. And as you may see from the flyer, there's really cool things there, beyond just the workout rooms and the courts, but things like free rock walls and fitness orientations. But again, like with back to triple bottom line, for the YMCA, they're happy to work with us and bring in more numbers into their facilities. For us, we're happy to work with wellness, but we're able to find that additional layer of being able to put our flyers within their facilities and help with our recruitment.
Another community partner that we actually gained from the farmers market is Health Plan Nevada, which is health insurance. They have the Medicaid coverage in Nevada, which includes pregnant moms, families with children under 21, and childless adults, ages 19 to 64, earning less than 138% of the federal poverty level. Medicaid benefits at no cost include well visits to primary care physician, inpatient, outpatient health care, dental, including teeth cleaning, pharmacy drug prescriptions, including some over-the-counter drugs with prescription, transportation to medical appointments in the pharmacy, urgent care visits, lab work, x-rays, family planning services, and mental health and substance abuse, home health. And then they have a bunch of special programs too. So all this information that they have, they give it out at our farmers markets, and they come into our family engagement meetings, which consist of our parents, and talk to them in more detail about it. And also if the parents want to sign up too, they're able to sign up there as well, or FEN meetings. But this slide is just, I won't go through all of them, but these are the programs that Health Plan Nevada has to offer.
And it's great to be able to see our partnerships swell as they see the other things we're doing in the community. So you gain that trust, and now our families are able to be the beneficiary. So another is the City of Las Vegas. Really, it started with an RFP. Our mayor has what's called the Life Initiative, and part of that initiative is education, particularly early childhood education within our community. And so they built buildings which they called Strong Start Academies, and put out an RFP for folks to be able to be part of that. So we put in a 185-page grant, and as I said earlier, we had made this partnership with the Public Education Foundation. And unfortunately, here in Clark County, we don't have a grant writer, and so it was our leadership team that really put together the grant, or the RFP. But I was able to work with the grant writer at the PEF, who at no cost very kindly went through our RFP, or went through our RFP application and helped us adjust what we put in there and strengthen the language. And, you know, very happy to say that we were able to enter the Strong Start Alta Academy as the provider for early childhood. We have both Head Start and Early Head Start in there, which coincided with also Learning Clark County's expansion to Early Head Start. So it was our first time we were able to really serve Early Head Start. Because we had a very successful year, it really led to much stronger partnership with us in the city, where we've also gone into one other Strong Start Academy. That's the one you see on the lower right behind the pond there, as well as a community center that was offering tuition-based early childhood education, but we were able to now run our Head Start program there. The picture you see on the top right is our mayor, Carolyn Goodman, who came out to our facility for a conference to talk about her life initiatives. So we have public events which really allow us to be in the spotlight and put a spotlight on pre-K and Head Start in our community, which traditionally has been more focused on K through 12, as well as we've joined their Innovations in Education program, which allows us to work with key stakeholders throughout the community on things we want to push forward education. And a lot of them are very relevant to us. For those of you that were able to go to the Family Engagement Conference last year, you may remember Walter Gilliam from the Edward Ziegler Center in Yale was a keynote speaker. He also came to one of their events, and so we had many of our staff able to hear that same powerful presentation about implicit bias. And so within the community, we see that growth and we see that strength, and we see the overlap between community partners that allow us to be more successful.
Another community partner that we gained from Farmers Market is Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Insurance. They drove by one of the farmers markets and were interested and got my information to reach out to me, and they are amazing. They come out to every single one of them. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield is a health plan and one of the managed care organizations for the Nevada Medicaid program. Again, they provide the health and wellness information at the farmers markets and our FEN meetings as well. They even bring, they donate bags. They have blue bags that they give to the families so they can put the food in. They've donated dollar amounts to some of our centers for classroom supplies and also to help out with outside gardens. So they've been a great community partner to have. Another one is University of Nevada Cooperative Extension. We've been partnered with them for almost 11 years now. Their program has a strong family involvement component, which is supported by the UNC's Parenting Education Program. The UNC's Parenting Education Program have supported meaningful involvement of parents by teaching parent-child development milestones and appropriate parent-child interaction skills to prevent child abuse and neglect. Their program also invites both parents and children to enjoy hands-on activities. We participated in their parenting education programs for several years. We've had little cooks, little books at almost all of our locations where the parents and the kids together learn about healthy eating and are able to cook together. We also have the STEM program, which is a parenting education program encouraging teaching Spanish-speaking parents to help their kids early STEM learning. They also have a program called All for Kids, which we've been with them too for a very long time. They have hit all of our locations multiple times, but they teach children about, they come into the centers and the classrooms, they do train the trainers, so they train our teaching staff to incorporate in their lesson plans on nutrition and fitness in the classroom. It's a 6-week program. And then they also have information classes for the parents. And then at the end of each program, the kids put on a show for the parents of the exercises that they've learned. They host Step Up for Kids event at Springs Preserve, Healthy Kids Festival, and Kickoff to Kindergarten event. So we're able to go back and recruit at those events for our program.
Well, our partnership with them started around health and nutrition. As Christina said, it also led into STEM learning projects, as well as taxi for our center directors. So taxi, or some people, may refer to the programming as PBIS, really helped increase our center director's knowledge around ways to positively support children with challenging behaviors, and give appropriate social emotional intervention.
And another community partner is the Children's Heart Center. I work with kids that are overweight, and it's growing more and more now with the 3 to 5 year olds. So I'm one person, so I needed to go and find another community partner to help out with it. So I reached out to Children's Heart Center, which I met one of the dietitians at the Step Up for Kids Festival that UNR was hosting. And so we partnered with them back in April of 2016 to help families that have children that are overweight to provide more support for the families. So they provide education on promoting a healthy lifestyle for the entire family, with an emphasis on modifying behaviors, improving eating habits, increasing physical activity, and improving self-esteem. They accept all insurances. HMO patients, they need referral, and then PPO, they typically get in without a referral, a specialist referral. They also provide a medical evaluation with a cardiologist, and then if patients are eligible, they're able to enroll into a 12-week program, which includes supervised exercise, regular nutrition education, and behavior modification therapy. Acelero refers all children and siblings with a BMI percentage of 95 or higher with additional cardiovascular risk factors. And then if we refer a family that's uninsured, we're able to assist with the payment to the Children's Heart Center up to $50 for their initial visit. And we've actually referred quite a few families to them that have helped them out, because we do have kids that are over 90 and 100 pounds at a very young age. So it's good that they do have medical staff to help them out as well.
So just a couple more we'll talk about. UNLV, our local university, who we've worked with to have specialized programs that allow night and weekend courses for employees that were looking to obtain graduate level degrees. We were able to work together to have exemptions for student teachers for field work, so that they were able to do the field work within our Head Start classrooms. Later led to working with their dental school, where they assist with dental work for our kids in need, and even led to us adding on a board member. As well as the Clark County School District, whereby we provide the general education setting in 3 of their buildings, and they provide inclusion services, but has really led to shared professional development. So staff members in those facilities working together to create action plans for students, teaching plans and whatnot, as well as being invited to each other's in-service days, mutual support with recruitment. There are times where they're able to share a wait list with us, or 3-year-old children that may not qualify for their program, but would certainly qualify for Head Start, as well as we're able to identify children with potential delays and developmental delays, and refer them for evaluation and do dual placement, where they're able to continue in Head Start, but also receive services for their IEP. As well as things like going to information sessions with high school students in the early education career track. And so not only does it help the students see the possibilities in the field of early childhood education, but it kind of gives us a chance to talk about Acelero and what we do, and put it on their radar as they think about applying for jobs when they graduate. And of course, we have many more partnerships that we didn't put on here. Some of the ones that come to mind is the Library District and their initiative, Museums for All, whereby they send out folks to help parents process their library cards, as well as model solid read alouds and make museums affordable for all families. Hope Counseling Services, which comes on site and does cost-free consultations for our families, be it student or parents that may have social emotional needs. Lyft, who has worked to donate backpacks and supplies to our centers, as well as have put codes in, so when folks use Lyft and the code Acelero, we're able to get $1 from each of those rides. And Clark County, which has many facilities that we're able to access at a reduced rate. But they've seen the benefits not only of the Head Start program, but the farmers markets and things going there. And so when we think about partnership, the one thing we would say is just always realize that the possibilities really are endless. And often you can really benefit another program and benefit yourself much more than initially expected. But just have to be willing to put yourself out there, establish those partnerships, and let the community see the great work that you're surely already doing. So that will conclude for now, but if anyone has questions, we're happy to stay on for a bit and answer any questions folks might have.
Thank you, Michael and Christina, for the wonderful presentation. At this point, I would like to open up the room for any questions, comments, any discussions you want to have. Please use the Q&A option of Zoom, or simply send us a chat message and we can read it out loud for everybody to hear and participate. While we wait for any comments or any questions coming in, I would like to remind everybody again that the session will be recorded and will be made available for on-demand consumption after today up on our website, which is www.region9hsa.org. So if you came in late, or if you would like to revisit any of these great points of information that both Michael and Christina talked about, that will be a good opportunity to rewatch the webinar. So I do not see any questions in the Q&A or the chat. So I'd like to thank everyone for attending this month's Innovations webinar. I want to thank our two facilitators today, Michael Mitchell and Christina, for their knowledge and time. And if you have any questions for them or for us here at the Region 9, feel free to go to our website and you may find contact information, and we can address your question accordingly. And we're here happy to help with any questions you have, okay? Thank you again, Michael and Christina, and thank you everybody, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.